100 days, hardcore, just trying to be like the best of them. You think you got it all together, and just like that, your heart races, anxiety through the roof. No one cares how many pork chops you cooked or how many diamonds you found. It can be all over in an instant. Let's get right to it. So me and the wife Shay is going to do 100 days bedrock hardcore from two perspectives. Make sure you check out her channel for her version, which will be dropping soon. So day one, I did the obvious and started chopping down some wood. Then I went to go build me a crafting table. As usual, you get your wood planks, you get your axe, your pickaxe, and a sword. I had pretty much used it all up, so I chopped down more wood with my new axe. I then checked on the wife, and she was pretty much working on the same thing. I seen this sand over here, so I wanted to mine it up for windows. I went after the sheep next, because you can get food and wool. Next, of course, was cobblestone so you can make stronger tools, and I mined it all up. Upgraded my tools, and this time I took a shovel. Now I needed one more sheep, and there he was. I still had some day left, so I got me a boat and did some exploring. I had seen a village in the mountains. I grabbed up this repair tool and decided to learn how to use it. Had never used one before. I'm usually a bit nicer, but I decided to just take this bed today. Day two, I decided to get me some food and I didn't have time to cook it. After a few failed attempts at hardcore, I realized you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, I had finally found me some coal. And this was kinda risky to be playing on hardcore, but I needed coal. I was in these mountains and I wasn't finding much. Now right here, I found myself just watching this villager go back and forth. I wonder what he was thinking about. But anyway, so like I said earlier, these villages didn't have much. So I just decided to work myself up and see if I could find something at the top. However, I did find some pumpkins though. And while mining, I heard my first zombie. It was actually two of them. Now, one was on fire and somehow I got on fire. Yep, I thought this was it. I ate some of that raw meat I had and actually thought about calling it quits. I was only 2 days in. And so far, this village was not a good idea. So I just called it a night. Day 3, I woke up to a creeper and his two friends. Talk about being nervous. When you don't have a shield, you really just have a cobblestone sword. You're trying to be very careful. You're in the mountains. You don't want to fall. You're just going through so many emotions right now. See, like right here. I know for a fact you need a bone to recruit a dog. But for some odd reason, I was trying to use meat. I made him mad. And then I had to take him down. The good thing was, I did find a lot of coal. Like I always say, you can never have enough. Well, I had finally made it to the top. I had mined coal but not much cobblestone, so I used their stove to cook up my food. Then I started to do some exploring. Still didn't find much, just some bread and a few emeralds. I decided to mine up these carrots because that was about all they had up here. Then it was time to head back down. I was really high up. It was time to check on Shay and see how she was doing. She had built a pillar so I could find the village that she had found. Wasn't too hard to find either. There she was, and just like a good old wife, she had cooked me some pork chops. Then I headed in for the night. Day 4, we found some coal and manned it all up, and it was time to sail to our new adventure. Now we wasn't sure if we wanted to mine a cave or if we wanted to find land and start building our home, but on our journey, we actually did find another village. Now this one looked it kind of interesting, but still, we wasn't finding nothing really good. Now there was one house that had a compass and a few maps. I'm not really a map guy myself, one of those things that I just never learned how to use, but hey, we'll see. Had a few pork chops that I needed to throw in the oven, so threw them in and pretty much called that a day. Day 5, I gobbled down one of those pork chops and I actually got another one because a pig was trying to take our boat. Now me and Shay both are not too fond of the snow in Minecraft. It's just something we never really explored. However, we spotted a village inside of the snow, which was new to me. They had wheat and carrots and potatoes, so we started to mine it all up. Then I found an igloo, and it had a redstone torch and a bed inside. This was a first for me. Now, while checking the village, I thought I had 2 iron blocks. I was really excited, and I seen it was smooth stone. I mean, come on, it looks exactly like it. Other than a mean mug from a baby villager, there wasn't much here. We searched every home, and none of the chests really had any good items. So we found us a good cave and decided we were going to mine it, and pretty much just camped out for the night. Day 6, we spotted some iron down there, so we headed down the waterfall and started mining it up. There was a lot too, and some coal. I made sure Shay watched my back and placed torches to avoid the mobs, but that didn't matter. And here was that moment. No shield, no armor, just a creeper coming to sneak up on you. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes they take all your hearts, sometimes they don't. I can't tell you how many times I've been minding my business and a creeper sneaks up on me. But anyway, you know, when you're playing hardcore, you're more careful. So I built some cobblestone walls to kind of protect us from like skeletons and creepers. We had discovered a pretty nice cave. There was plenty of iron and coal. Shay's the perfect sidekick. She was making me a shield and suggested that maybe we should just go in the cave now, try to find all our armor and hopefully some diamonds. So that was the chance we were going to take before we even found our home. We had found a nice deep cave and decided to mine, and all that sounds good, but here's what comes with it. All kinds of skeletons and mobs. You know, when you're down here and you've made this decision, you start thinking. You see a zombie just creep up on you like this, and you say, well, maybe we should go back up. But you're already in too deep. You don't know what to do. Now, zombies are usually the easy ones, right? But no, everything's a threat in hardcore. So I sealed up any walls I could because I didn't want anything sneaking in. Then we pretty much called it a night. Day 7, and the Wifey of the Year award goes to Shay. She built me an iron pickaxe, and we decided to split up. I said I was going to mine down here and see if I can possibly even find some diamonds. There was an Enderman. I felt maybe I can get an ender pearl. Maybe I could take him down inside of this hole. I tried to lure him in, and usually this works out for me, you know. Now I'm not sure if it's because it's hardcore, but it didn't work out too well. He just wouldn't come near there. He was actually trying to distract me. And then boom, there he is. This is that moment where you be like, this has never happened before, and why now? But anyway, I was able to at least get him away from me. But it wasn't all bad. I was actually able to take advantage and gain some XP because the mobs kept flocking to this hole. It even worked for the creeper. Now, I had found this room in this cave with a whole lot of iron. I pretty much knew that I was going to have my iron armor now, and even maybe some for Shay. But she was doing pretty good. She had her own. So I went to bed and called it a night. Day 8, I started cooking up all that iron, and I only had enough for a chest plate. But my dad always told me that a half a loaf of bread is better than none at all. So I decided to head back down into the cave. There was a lot of iron and a lot of coal down here. The goal was to load ourselves up before we found our home, so we won't have to do that much mining and we can just pretty much build. I was working my way down and hiding in here, but here comes good old Mr. Creeper coming to blow up the iron I was about to get and also blow up my hiding spot. Even though you can't see it, I know he has a smile on his face. Then I was attacked by a skeleton who was standing right over me, and I decided I was going to have to place some torches and do a little bit of fighting. I did have a chest plate, so I had a little bit of protection. I just had to use my shield, which was going away really fast. And then here's that moment where you kind of do something silly. I should have just stayed away from the lava, but hey, I seen the iron and I wanted to mine it, and there was a lot of it, so I'm glad I did. because it would come in handy. My tools was running on low. Well, gold was a good sign. I was getting pretty deep. This was going to be the new camping spot for the night. As you can see, there was a lot of mobs around here. You know, the type that be there when you sleep and the ones that be there in the morning. But anyway, I just called it a night. Day 9, I went to see if that zombie was still out there and he had changed his clothes. He came back for me. The good thing was that now I was able to build all my armor. I actually had just enough to get the leggings, the boots, and the hat. So now I could be a little bit more dangerous. I wanted to go down there and get that gold because it is useful inside the nether. I just was very careful and tried my best to watch my back, but didn't really matter too much. You know, it was mobland. They were everywhere. Now, do you ever be playing and sometimes you get a little carried away? You know, you kind of in your bag, you know, you're doing really good, and then you hear this. You know, the mean witch lady that hits you with a potion and takes away all your hearts, and that's something you don't want to go through in hardcore. So now you're panicking, you're trying to put your bed down, you're trying to go to sleep, and you just constantly see that message. You may not rest because there are monsters around. So you may be escaping from the mob that you really don't want to be bothered with, and here comes Mr. Creeper once again to blow you up. So now you're really panicking, and finally you get some sleep. Day 10, the lovely smell of skeleton was one waiting for me. So I needed to get back to Shay and see how she was doing. But I was seeing stuff like redstone dust and a dark cobblestone. It's a setup. That's what it is. You know, you see this deep cobblestone slate or whatever it's called, and you think you're gonna find some diamonds. You start seeing more iron and you start getting a little greedy and you stop paying attention to your surroundings. This is how you get caught up in hardcore. You figure, hey, I could get as much iron, maybe I could build some iron golems, you know, do whatever. And you're just constantly just mining and mining. Still no diamonds. And there's Enderman. So what do? I risk it all. I don't feel like looking at the wall all day. So he fell into this hole and I decided to lure him into my little trap, I guess. And last time it didn't work, but I knew he couldn't come from the side this time. So look at that, I'm doing it. I may get him. And of course, no ender pearl. So back to my point earlier, I was doing all this and I forgot about her. There it was. All this I had did to avoid this witch. She still got me. So now I'm running for my life. My energy is going down. I'm eating as many pork chops as I possibly can. And I just made it. I think I had enough. So I head back up to my snuggle bunny, Shay the Raider. Oh, she's sleeping so peacefully. Oh, the little baby. Day 11, me and the wife were all armored up, and it was time to head up, and now it was time to find our home. So we head right back up this waterfall and got on our boat and just sailed the sea. We went really far for maybe about a day, and I ran into this. Yep. So we put down our bed. This was something I had never experienced. We didn't know what to expect, but we still went to sleep.
Day 12, we were trying to mind our bed.
Now, there was something about this land. I had a good feeling about it. And believe me, you'll see at the end just how perfect this land was. Shay wasn't too crazy about it, but I was able to convince her. So we were in agreement, and this is where we were going to start our new home. Finally, it was time to start building our house. So I set up these wood pillars for Shay, and she built the inside. Then I started to cook up some of that iron that I had found. I thought I had a lot, but this stuff runs out pretty fast, especially in hardcore. But anyway, it was getting dark and we called it a night. Day 13. Shay was working on the home, so I decided to do some landscaping. There was this huge mountain of dirt that we wanted to flatten out, and it kind of took a while because I was constantly distracted by mobs that was just popping out in bright daylight. But hey, It's Minecraft. Well, back to the dirt. I started to mine some of that dirt, and then I wanted to try to even out the playing field like a huge box. I don't know why, but it just looked good to me. And it was coming along pretty good. That's pretty much what I did for this day. There was a lot of shoveling dirt and even in the playing field. It started raining, and I had a battle with my first sea monster. He was coming out trying to get us, because we had no torches or anything. We didn't have a roof, even though it was raining, but we still called it a night. Shay was doing pretty good with this house. It was starting to look pretty good. Day 14 was pretty much like day 13. Now all that iron I was cooking was finally done. And I went right back to trying to make that even playing field look like a huge box. Like I say, I don't know why, but I was noticing a lot of sea monsters. Shay needed me to get some sand as well for some more windows. And I was getting kind of nervous because I was seeing like skeletons in the water, but I decided to just stay focused and just keep trying to mine down this huge mountain of dirt. I wanted everything to be flat because I didn't want nothing to be over us, like a skeleton or even a creeper. And I had built my first chest, stocked my items, and Shay said it was time to go to bed. Yep, day 15 was still trying to even out this dirt. It looked like an easy task, but it wasn't as easy as it looked. Pretty much did that for the day and called it a night. Now day 16, I'm not sure what happened. I think we ordered a pizza or something and I went to grab it and just wasted a whole day. Sorry about that. Day 17, I was sacrificing a lot of iron to build 4 iron blocks. I was about to build my first golem. I felt like we would need him, especially in a hardcore world. And there he was, my first iron golem, which was a waste, which you will find out later. But anyway, finally, I had cleared out all that dirt. And now, I was going to dig up that cobblestone so I can start me a cave. I thought this would be a good spot. Like I said, I had a good feeling about this island. Me and Shay headed in and it was time to go night-night. Day 18, I woke up and started smelting some of that cobblestone. This was something I learned later that you can do, because while I like cobblestone, I love the way smooth stone looks better. You know, it just takes forever to cook it. So I started to build, and this was going to be the entrance to the cave. I had miscalculated. I needed way more stone than I thought I needed. And like I say, cooking cobblestone takes a really long time, so I just kind of settled, you know, especially around the sides and back. Just put up the cobblestone and started to build it. And there it was. This was going to be our cave. I usually like to build my cave under the house, but sometimes I've had experiences with creepers, and because it's a hardcore world, I really don't want to chance it. I started doing a little mining and I found some flint, which actually would come in handy later. Then I decided to dig up some of the grass, and this was going to be the pathway. I did some readjusting and called it a night. Day 19, I did some redecorating. I took down the chest and I put up 2 pictures and 2 torches, which I think gave it a better feel. And then I put up a sign and just called it cave. I had high hopes for this cave that it would have a lot of diamonds. Also, Shay was progressing very well. I decided to help her out a little bit. So she wanted some kind of pool or a little area for her. And I found this perfect flat bed of sand in the back and placed some dirt around it and called it a day. Day 20, it was time to start working on the second level. So from the first floor to the second floor, I wanted to go up a ladder, and I wanted to put the ladder on both sides. So Shay would have a side and I would have a side, so we can both just kind of get up there pretty easily. Now usually I'll build stairs, but I don't know if I was just being kind of lazy because it kind of carried over to the rest of the day. As you can see, I put these pillars up that didn't match. So I stopped being lazy and I went over to the other side to go get some more of that darker brown wood. And something told me to go back. There was my snuggle bear, fighting a creeper by herself. I'm glad I did come back. She doesn't like creepers either. Looked up and it started getting dark, and we headed in for the night. Day 21, I grabbed me a boat and I went to go get some of that brown wood I said I was going to get. I made sure I got plenty because it was a lot I wanted to do up there. I wanted to build that second floor and I thought about maybe doing the deck. headed back in my boat and it was looking kind of empty to me, so I decided to build myself a dock for the boats. You know, nothing too major, something simple. Well, then I pretty much spent the rest of the day undoing that wood and replacing it with the brown. That looked so much better. I pretty much ran this into the night and started working on the walls. Then it was time to head down and go night-night. Day 22 was nothing really major. I pretty much spent the day just putting up these planks on the walls and on the ceiling and just tried to finish it up so we can just kind of get things moving. Day 23, it was nice to see that Shay had finally finished her infinity pool. She was working really hard on it, and it looked like she was about to start farming. Things was coming along, so now I thought it would be a good time to start mining in that cave I had built. As satisfying as it is to mine a cave, it's very time consuming. And also I had found some water, so that wasn't a good sign. I was hoping I could mine around it and found some coal, and then actually I found some more iron. So I mined it up and decided to pick it up the next day. Day 24, I kind of had a funny feeling like I was going to find some mobs, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as I placed that torch, here comes Mr. Mob, and he was coming after me with a block in his hand. I thought the coast was clear, and then boom, there it is. Mr. Creeper. Look how much damage it took. Wow, so close. Well, I took a minute to regroup, ate a few pork chops, and got back to it. And I was finding a lot of iron and a lot of coal. I mean, I gotta get it. It's your best friend in this game, really. Then it was time to go night-night. Day 25. I mean, what do you really want to know? I'm mining a cave. Zombies, going against endermans, and also creepers. They love to sneak up on you and blow up. A lot of fun. Called it a night. That was day 25. Now day 26 was the same old song, but I decided to get a little organized. You know, I built me an oven, a chest, and a crafting table, cooked up some iron, and I was going to try to secure this place so things couldn't just sneak up on me and walk through. And I was starting to feel pretty good. I was fighting the zombies. When I got tired, I went back in, had me some lunch, and then here we go. One of these little baby zombies. I can't tell you how many diamonds, pickaxes, and swords, ender pearls I've lost fighting one of these. Fighting one of these while playing made me realize I need to get some dogs, because these things are so fast, you know, you can't even think. Man, and here comes Papa Bear, who wants smoke. I don't want to really take out the whole family, but it is what it is. You know what? That's enough for today. Good night. Day 27, the story of my life. Of course I wake up to a zombie in the most perfect spot to take me out. One block, just right there. How did you even get there? How? Now I'm not sure if this was skeleton land, but I must have fought about maybe 6 skeletons in a row. I mean, they were just coming around the corner like contestants. Contestant 1. Contestant 2. And by the way, if you're not careful, they will take your shield out. So you remember a couple days ago the repair tool I took? Well, I decided to give it a shot because I had killed so many skeletons. I was able to combine a bunch of bows and make it one big powerful one. Now this cave had plenty of iron, but I wasn't finding any diamonds. And I believe this is why. Because there was so much water right above and around. I realized I may have to find another cave to find my diamonds. But hey, I manned up all that iron until my pickaxe broke. And then all of a sudden, here's that moment. Creeper right there. No shield ready, no nothing. It's over. I'm done. Well, not quite. I actually had a little bit of time, but it was very close. This cave was extra infested. You know, I had to really fight just to get torches to clear up some of these shadows. I was taking heavy damage and I knew I had to change my shield. Then looked up and it was time to go to bed. Well, that was a L. I didn't really find much but iron and coal, but I'm still grateful. So, you remember that second floor? Well, I was going to try to put up those windows. Also, I had forgot that I didn't even finish the ceiling, and I was running out of wood. Now, when you're in the cave, you lose track of the day and came outside to check to make sure everything was even, and it was time to go to bed again. Day 29 was a simple day. I had to get some more sand for some windows, cook it up, and then I did a little organizing. You know, this chest was looking kind of wild. Day 30, I finished those windows and placed down those doors. Then I decided to take a little adventure. Shay was actually on one herself. I think she had found another village. As you can see, there's our pillar. So, of course, I can't pass coal. I mined it all up, and it was actually a whole lot of it, all through these mountains. You can never have enough. Oh, there's my Pookie Wookie, coming back from her little adventure. Oh, she has a little carrot in her hand. I wonder if she has diamonds. Well, I headed over to this mountain that had an unusual amount of coal and plenty of that good old iron we all love. You can never get enough of this stuff. Well, it started getting dark, so I wanted to build a small cave so I could put down a bed and go to sleep. Day 31. Still at my coal addiction. It's like I could never pass this stuff up. And since I was already high up, I felt like I would just try to get everything that was up top in the mountains. Now, as I was digging, I found this area with a lot of mobs. It looked like they was congregating, or they were trying to plot on something. Maybe they knew we were here, but I'm not sure. One thing I know, I didn't want to fall down there, cause probably would have been it. Maybe the fall alone probably would have took me out. But anyway, I had plenty of coal and plenty of iron. Further away, I spotted 2 dogs. I named one Benji and the other one Justin. And we decided to camp out for the night. Day 32, woke up and me and my dogs were lost. I had drifted off pretty far. Then it started raining, and me and my dogs didn't want to be in danger because the mobs like to come out. So I had a bite to eat, and I tried to look for that big old pillar that we had made near our house, and I'm so glad we made this because usually I turn on the coordinates, but for hardcore, I guess it's not on. Well, it was time to introduce Shay and the dogs. They got acquainted, and then we headed in for the night. Day 33, I cooked up some of that iron I had mined. I actually thought I had a little bit more, but hey, it is what it is. Then I headed over to that other island with the brown wood. I really like these trees. Sometimes you could find some trees that have like 4 together, and it's really easy to mine a lot of wood. It's really nice to be by trees that you like to build with, cause it's an endless supply. Then I seen the most beautiful dog ever. I decided to name him Abraham. I had a good feeling about him, and I thought maybe he would make a good house dog. The other 2 were gonna be breeding dogs, so I could have a little help in the caves. Well, I still had some time left, so I crafted some of those spruce planks that me and Shay really like, and then I had to finish that ceiling that I had forgot about. I finished it up, and then the next project was gonna be the deck on the 2nd floor. I was gonna run the deck all around the house. I started it up and then called it a night. Now day 34, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I crafted an iron golem because I had a little bit extra iron, and I was debating on if I was going to try to finish that deck. Then it dawned on me I hadn't placed any torches around the house, and this was long overdue because mobs was coming in at night. So all around our land I placed torches until I ran out, placed them all night, and I tried to light up all the shadows I could see, then called it a night. Day 35, I finished it off. Now, Shay had built a giant pillar in front of our house so we can see in case we drifted off. However, I wanted to place torches among the pillar so we can see at night. As you can see, if it was dark, you would be able to see the pillars. I think this will also depend on your settings, but it works for us. And without a coordinates, we'll be able to find home. So I pretty much just ran that into the night and was going to finish the rest in the morning. Day 36. There it was. Now I had a pillar with torches so I could see. And now it was time to finally work on this deck. I did a little rearranging of the logs on top of the roof, and then finished up the deck pretty much into the night. And I needed a lot of wood because I was using just as much logs as I was planks. Now me and Shay have this little game we play. We kind of troll each other. I hit her and run and every now and then, but we'll get to that later. Day 37, it was time to finish off this deck. Well, not finish it, but work on it. I needed a lot of wood because instead of using fences, I was going to use actual logs as the support system. I didn't finish the whole thing, but I was able to finish the front and it was looking pretty good. So I actually still had some day left, and it was time to start doing some landscaping. I wanted to build like a road. So Shay had put down these planks and I took them up and started building a pathway all around the house and the area, and then eventually I can place torches around that path and that should help get rid of mobs. Then Shay let cows in. I'm not sure what she was going through at this time, but like I said, her video will be uploaded on her channel. I'm sure she has a story for it. Now day 38, I wanted to finish those paths. You know, pathways is something I never really did in my Minecraft worlds. But I did see that if you place torches around the pathways, like I said, you know, it will really help against the mobs coming in your area. And I actually got addicted to it. I made pathways all around my cave and all around the animals and crops. Well, I felt if Shay was gonna let cows sleep in the house, maybe she'll let dogs sleep in the house. So I brought them in. And you remember when I told you me and Shay used to play that game? Well, it backfired. And this will start a whole series of events that actually cause problems. I forget the dogs will attack her. Now day 39, I made Justin, Benji, and Abraham apologize. Then Shay seen a creeper and she didn't really want to be bothered, so I used my bow and arrow and took him out. If only it was this easy all the time. You know, Shay really wasn't feeling the dogs after what happened because we was playing on hardcore. So usually it'd be fun in games, but she was pretty serious. We was on day 39 and she was right. So I took the dogs down and then I placed a few torches on the deck, and then it started getting dark. The day went by pretty fast and I did notice that I didn't see any mobs at night. So I turn around and I see Mr. Piggy inside the house after she made me get rid of my dogs. Oh wow. Day 40, I did some fishing. Well, not fishing, well, swim fishing. I went down and I chopped me some salmon. Came across a few sea monsters and thought maybe I'll get some flesh for the dogs, and then continued to chop up that good old salmon. For some reason, this seems a lot easier than a fishing rod. Now, I'm not claiming to be the best builder or best landscaper, but I thought my pathways was looking pretty good. However, there were still mobs coming in, so I knew I had to place those torches around those pathways real soon and get rid of as many shadows as possible. Now, I cooked up about 16 salmon and I needed all this food because I was going to go down in the cave and I was going to finally test out my dogs. So after a bite to eat, I headed down, and I didn't take Abraham. I took Benji and Justin. I was a little worried at first, but Benji and Justin, they was really taking down the mobs pretty well, especially the zombies. Now the skeletons, on the other hand, if they shoot your dog, they can knock the dog back so he can't really get to you like he can the zombies. And then I seen a witch and I was like, well, I didn't want the witch poisoning my dogs. So I took them back in and I thought maybe she would despawn or something, I don't know. And then Shay, she needed some iron, so I went back up and gave it to her, and then I headed back down and we got right back to it. So the dogs had pretty much proven to me that they can handle the battle. So we went deeper into the cave. We was fighting skeletons, we was fighting spiders. I found some gold, I found some coal, and I found iron. It was a lot down here, but I still didn't find any diamonds. I mean, it was day 41 and I still hadn't found any diamonds down here. I'm not sure if it was because the water or what. But anyway, me and my dogs continued to go down and we continued to fight all the mobs. The ones I was worried about the most are, of course, the creepers, because they come out of nowhere and they take away a lot of damage. But the zombies, they didn't stand a chance against my dogs. Now I was finding a lot of gold, and I'm thinking diamonds had to be right around the corner. So I didn't head back up. Me and the dogs decided to sleep down there for the night. In day 42, I found out that that was a bad idea, because as soon as we woke up, a swarm of creepers came. And with those creepers came their buddies. The mobs had set us up pretty good, and I lost Benji. I was trying to save Justin, okay? He was surrounded by these 3 skeletons. I'm trying my best to defend him, and I'm using my shield. Now they claim the wolf was shot by me. I'll let you be the judge of that. I had lost Justin and Benji. They had got so far and they was doing so well. And now I had to tell Abraham about his brothers. It was not easy to do. Now, the little me shooting a wolf thing, you know, let's keep that between us. But it wasn't the end all be all. I told Abraham he would have a new family and he would be the head of many. But the poor guy was breaking my heart. It was really hard for him. So I decided to go fishing, even though I said I don't like doing it. I needed to really think about this. So I waited till night and took it out on a few sea monsters. And then I pretty much called it a night. Day 43. Well, I cooked up some of that gold that I had found. I had found a lot of it. And then I decided to put down some spruce trees right in front of the house, since it was our favorite tree. Then I started checking out what Shay was doing. She was building her garden, she was planting wheat. She was doing really well. I didn't have any diamonds, but I had plenty of iron, and I cooked it up. And then I looked and my tree had already grew. I had never seen one grow that fast before. But anyway, I decided to build some lanterns and I wanted to help Shay out. She was doing so well, so I wanted to try to make things look a little better for her. So I wanted to make some stone brick, and I was going to replace the cobblestone she had, just to kind of give it a better feel. And then across the bridge I seen a creeper in the same spot as the other one from earlier. So I took him out and then called it a night. Day 44, I had plans, but a creeper was right in our yard, and I knew that I had to place those torches. This had to stop. Can't have creepers trying to blow up the house. So I placed a bunch of torches. Then I checked on that cobblestone that takes all day to cook. I made some bricks and placed them all around her flowers. I thought maybe she may like this better than the typical cobblestone, and I was right, she really liked it. And I looked and my other tree had grew. Now with trees comes shadows, which brings mobs. If these trees are at the front door, wouldn't be nothing worse than running into a creeper for breakfast. I had a lot of stone now, so I started experimenting with this chiseled stone brick and just decided to build anything. I didn't know what I was building, but it would later become something pretty cool that Shay would turn it into. Maybe this was nothing spectacular, but hey, it was home. Then at night, Shay was chased home by 2 zombies. Evidently, there were still too many shadows out on the farm. I had to take care of this problem, cause I didn't want no surprises. Anyway, I took them out and we went to bed. Day 45, I went on a short adventure and I took Abraham with me. But I set him down. I just wanted to make sure that the cave wasn't too bad for him. We were looking for more wolves, but I seen this cave and I thought maybe there would be some coal, some iron, and maybe even a pathway to some diamonds. But of course we came across the typical creepers and skeletons and just was fighting for no reason. Just taking more chances in hardcore that we don't need to take because I have plenty of coal. But because I see it, I just had to mine it. It's nothing worse than falling into a cave without any coal. Now I had learned my lesson about sleeping in a cave, not in high places. So I put down a bed on some high cobblestone. But on day 46, I learned it still didn't matter. At least it wasn't a creeper this time. So me and Abraham had breakfast, and now that I had stocked up on coal and iron, it was time to go get those wolves, but we were being attacked by an unusual amount of mobs and zombies. And it was daytime. But like I mentioned earlier, I believe it's the trees and the shadows of the trees. See, as the zombie is not catching on fire. But anyway, I decided to get some more of that brown wood. Then Abraham spotted another wolf. This was the start of something big. So I gave the wolf a bone. Then I cranked out my favorite new tool, the repair and disenchant, and put my axe in there. This was really great because I seen Shay's pillar, so I knew where I was. So we laid down by the beach and called it a night. Day 47, I had me a piece of fish, gave the dogs a piece of flesh, and then they started to multiply. There was the baby wolf. We were starting our family the right way. And here was some other dogs that looked like Justin and Benji. They were multiplying fast, and I had about 6 or 7 dogs with me. And it was time to go meet Shay. Shay was down here working in this little area I told you that I had built for her. Now, I was a little worried because what happened with the dogs earlier, but when she seen the baby wolf, she was really excited, and she was in a good mood. So now, I felt really good about it. Abraham and the dogs wanted to know if I can bury Justin and Benji and have a memorial service. Well, of course I couldn't say no, so that's what I did. I buried both of them. I placed Benji on the left and Justin on the right. These 2 wolves were very brave in the caves, and the dogs wanted to honor them for future battles. They wanted Shay to join the memorial service, so she came over. She thought it was a little bit over the top, but she was still supportive. Then we had a moment of silence for Benji and Justin. Now, I didn't really have a place for the dogs to sleep, so I let them come inside. It was getting dark and I wanted them to be safe, so we all called it a night. Now, day 48, we was all inside for a little while because there were pillagers outside, and we didn't really want the issues that comes with that, so we just kind of waited it out. Shay fed some of the dogs and we just hung out for a little while. Today was the day that I was going to build them a doghouse, so I had some of that leftover spruce wood. I used the actual logs for the base and then I filled it in with the planks. They was worth it. I wanted to really take care of them because they was going to help us in this hardcore world. We wanted to do some more exploring inside the caves, but we needed some help because, you know, once you die in hardcore, that's it. So it was so much that we didn't do yet, and I didn't have any diamonds. These dogs were going to help me get them. Now, maybe this was a little bit overkill, you know, me doing the landscaping and actually putting the dogs in the fence, because once you set them up, they kind of spawned and follow you anyway. But it looked good, so it worked. I wanted to make sure Shay was okay because I was going to sleep out with the dogs for the night. So I laid down my bed and called it a night. Day 49 was torch day, and now I see why I've seen so many players have so many torches. There are so many shadows that the mobs can spawn. It made a lot of sense. I've been playing Minecraft for a while and I never properly placed my torches. I looked out and I didn't see any mobs, so hopefully I had it now. Day 50, I started finishing off that path by the cave, and then I noticed just how much Shay was progressing. That little area that I had built, she had made it into some sort of man cave or steakhouse or something. It was really nice, so I made her a sign and left her a message. Then I heard the sound of a trader. Now, I don't know if it's me or if it's something I'm missing, but every time I come encounter with a trader, they never have nothing I want. Anyway, I still had some day left, so that bridge we had, I started putting up some planks on the side and I wanted to build a fence. Eventually, this was going to lead to another part of our world and hopefully we can build on it. And this area was the area that we was seeing like those creepers in the water, so eventually we knew we was going to have to place a lot of torches. Day 51, I did a little landscaping in that area, and then I was pretty much inside for the rest of the day. I did a little organizing and repaired a few items, and then I went out to the deck and I realized that I had to finish the back end of the deck. So that was something that I wanted to tackle real soon. And then me and Shay kind of had a little argument, so I slept by myself for the night. Day 52, I tried the fishing thing again and it just didn't work for me. So I went back down and did my swim fishing. Grabbed my axe and chopped up a lot of salmon. But I was really down here because I was trying to get easy rotten flesh, you know, for my dogs. I felt that maybe I can kill a few sea monsters and it'll be easier than trying to go down in caves and fight zombies. Little did I know that you can also breed the dogs with the meat. I knew the dogs would eat it, I just didn't know that, you know, you can breed them with it. So they can eat pork chops, they can eat the lamb. If I had known that, I probably wouldn't have wasted my time with the sea monsters. But hey, it is what it was. Well, it was getting dark and I went and fed them the flesh that I did have, and they were pretty happy. So I headed in and called it a night. Day 53, I was trying to figure out why they wasn't breeding, and yeah, it was because they was sitting down. Day 54, I didn't know how to use this map, but it had a picture of Shay on it, so that was cool. The rest of the day I was in house. I had a lot of extra meat, so I cooked it up. I played with the repair tool, and then I wanted to make some cabinets. I wanted to start getting organized, so I wanted to separate the food. One would be for the raw food, and the other would be for the cooked food, you know, so we could just grab it and go. Then I started organizing a little bit and got me 15 steaks and pork chops and called it a day. Day 55, I finished up the deck, and then I wanted to build some stairs that we can go up from the back. I don't know, in case we got in trouble or something. Because even though I have these torches, these mobs still like to come out and they still like to surprise you. It is hardcore, but it looked pretty good. Called it a night. Well, day 56, me and Abraham went on a little wood journey, and then we found another dog. I gave him a bone and he was a new addition to the family. Now I thought I was lost for a moment, but then I turned around and looked, and guess what? There was a creeper waiting for me. I can't tell you how many times this has happened and this didn't go well. But anyway, I had found a cobblestone mountain, and it was full of coal. And you know me, anytime I see coal, I gotta mine it. Also, there was a lot of iron, there was a lot of emeralds, but still no diamonds. But anyway, it was getting dark, so me and the dogs camped in for the night. Day 57, I started trying to mine up as much coal as I could. It was so much of it. And also, a lot of emeralds. I might as well call this 100 days the coal journey, cause that's about all I found so far. Now going in this cave was kind of pointless because I ran into 2 creepers. And I had no torches. This could have not ended well actually. I was usually a bit more careful with Abraham. But hey, they was handling it. The zombies really didn't stand a chance against my dogs. And the reward was nice. I found a ton of iron in here. Now remember when I said I wanted to get the dogs for the baby zombies? They took them out so fast, I actually felt kind of sorry. Now I was so tempted to go down this cave. I just knew it had to be diamonds down there. It had to be. So I thought about it and called it a night. Day 58, I thought about it and created another pickaxe. But then I decided to wait. I decided to make my way back home and just kind of grab what I seen on the way. We wasn't ready to go down a cave, but I know I needed to breed dogs. I know I needed to find diamonds. I was on day 58 and I didn't have 1 diamond. I believe Shay had found some. So this was what I focused on. I started breeding dogs. I started feeding them as much pork chops or any meat that I had, and I was going to breed them and we was going to go down in a cave. At the end of the day, I had a lot of dogs. Now, they slept with us because I didn't feel like sitting them all down, so we called it a night. Day 59, I had to make the doghouse bigger. I had so many dogs, so I extended the home. Day 60, I still had a little bit more work to do to these stairs. You know, when I was with the dogs, I had chopped up some more wood, so I finished them off and put up some torches. Then, I noticed there was a bridge connected to the deck. Shay had been very busy. This was above that man cave or steakhouse I had told you about. We had a bite to eat and called it a day. Day 61, I was still at it with the wolves. It looked like it was getting a little carried away, but it paid off. I checked on Abraham and he was cool with it. Now Shay had brought it to my attention that she hadn't seen the iron golems for a while. So I spent the rest of the day trying to hunt them down. At the time, I didn't know how to get them to come back home though. Day 62, I seen a witch trying to plot on Shay, and I took her down with the arrow. This is the best way to attack witches from far distance. She was about to get that potion too. I also started prepping the dogs. The next day, we was gonna go down into the cave. Day 63, me and Shay had some breakfast and swapped a few supplies. And now, it was time to grab my dogs. It was time to take about a good 10 or 15 of them down into this cave, and we was gonna try once again to find some diamonds. I made sure I had plenty of food, plenty of flesh, chicken, pork chops, lamb, you name it, I had it. Now when we got in, it was pretty intense. I mean really, it was like they built an army while I was building my dog army. I mean, we had creepers coming at us, we had zombies, we had skeletons, we had endermen. I don't even think I found anything. I may have found a little bit of iron, but I had to run back in because I was losing dogs left and right. We called it a night. Day 64, we headed back out and gave it another shot. You've ever heard that saying when they say too much of something is not good? Well, that can happen, especially in this game. Now, the dogs was helpful, but however, it was so many of them I couldn't keep up. Now for some reason my dogs kept getting stuck in the water. I actually lost a lot of them because of this. So I was kind of over it. We went back upstairs. I did let them come in and sleep with me, but I was actually a little disappointed. Just called it a night. Now I did something kind of silly. Shay was right by me and I made a mistake and hit her while I was cooking my iron, and the dog started to attack her. She was done, highly upset. Now the first time I did it on purpose. The second time was an accident, but she assumed that I did it on purpose. And why would I do that? We was 65 days in hardcore, so me and the dogs had to sleep in a cave, and yeah. DJ Shawnee breaking character, she kicked me out the server for a day and I almost ended up on the couch. Day 67 was kind of a dark day. It was just me and my dogs. So, we decided to go mining. Shay didn't want anything to do with us. The only thing that probably would make her feel better is if I had found some diamonds. But all I was finding was iron and lapis. I thought I was really close. We was digging a lot. Day 68, I hit bedrock with absolutely no diamonds. It was cold, just dark. Just me and my dogs. My wife was mad at me. I didn't really know what to do. So, I headed back up in this cave that I had put all these torches in, with all this water, with my dogs that I took all day to breed, and just went to sleep. Day 69, I was on my way back up, but me and the dogs decided to let off some steam against the mobs. That was the best way to let some of this anger go about what was going on, because I really didn't mean to do it. So if you want to blame me, oh, I'll stop your hardcore world. I had been in a cave with these dogs for 3 days. I'll show her. So I went up, all in my feelings. I got my arrow, and you know what I did? I did something silly again. I let my feelings get the best of me, and I got her again. Then we ran in the house, and she came in. She was coming after me, and the dog started attacking her. Immediately, I felt terrible. I made the dog stop, and I was starting to realize just how hard we worked. But I'm nothing without her. She's my sidekick. I was very sorry. I was trying to apologize, but she was over me. She was done. She wanted no parts of me or my dogs. She slammed the door in my face and then left and said, you know what? You can have the house. And you know it's bad if they do that. I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I brought my dogs back and put them back in the doghouse. Day 70, I needed a break from the dogs. I went back down into my cave by myself. I was gonna try to see if I can find some diamonds down here, but I realized I was right by water. It was over me and under me. I even tried to swim under to see if I can see any diamonds. There was none around here. I know if I could just bring her a couple diamonds, she may forgive me. So day 71, I made my way back up, went home and built me a crossbow. Just something to help me feel a little better. I didn't know where Shay was. I didn't know if she started her own world or what. So days 72 through 73, I just found me a mountain with my dogs and just started digging straight through. I didn't really care what was going on. I wanted to try to find some diamonds or find something that I can hopefully get Shay to forgive me. Day 74, I had made it all the way through to the other side of the mountain. And when I came up, I seen a beautiful black dog. Now, I had never seen this dog before, and he was different from all of mine. So I was really hoping that this dog would make Shay feel better and just let her know how sorry I was. So we headed back, me and my dogs and the new dog. So she came out and she seen the new dog. At first, I didn't know what she was thinking, but then she fed him. I can tell she really liked him, but she was still a little upset about what happened earlier. So I knew I had to do more, but at least she was back home. So days 75 through 76, me and my dogs worked on a dirt bridge back to that tunnel. The whole purpose of this tunnel was to try to reach other land and maybe I can find some diamonds. I got up some wood and then I put me a pillar down so I'd be able to make my way back because I was way on the other side. Day 77, me and my dogs discovered some lava. And usually where there's lava, there's diamonds. That was the difference between that other cave. All I really seen was water. We had worked our way all the way down to the dark cobblestone, but nothing really interesting, well yet. So we called it a night. Day 78, those next few blocks, we bust open into a nice cave. There was a lot of mobs down here, but I had plenty of dogs and we was taking them down. I even seen some sea monsters in here, but it didn't have a lot of water like that last cave. I seen just about every mob, which was a good sign. You know, I'm thinking day 78, why not go a little deeper? Let's see. And guess what? I found my first 2 diamonds. 78 days. But hey, it be like that sometimes, I guess. Now, I headed back up, but I was guessing maybe I should have went to sleep in the cave. But I didn't want to waste no time. I had diamonds and I didn't want to overdo it. That was the main thing. I was kind of having a hard time finding my way back even though I placed torches. And then I found a lava pool, which would have been great for obsidian. So I built a pillar, which was very risky at night by the way. But then I found one of my openings, and I had just made it in a tunnel. So I headed back. And then day 78 ran right into day 79. I didn't get no sleep. And I had very few dogs. I had lost a lot of them in the battles in those caves. But I had diamonds. So I gave them to Shay, and she was very excited. I think it was all she needed to build her enchantment table. I was back in, buddy. So later on that day, I decided to do some things around the house. Like I cooked up some iron, and I was working on a 3rd level. I had plenty of wood that I had collected while going in those tunnels. So I felt like why not put it to use and build a 3rd floor. I'm sure Shay would have made good use of it. Day 80, I had took some of that gold that I had, and I had made some golden apples. And then I wanted to build me a storage room behind the stairs. This was going to be my little private area. Day 81, I cooked up some glass, and I was getting ready to fill the ceiling on that 3rd floor up. Shay had decided to make this the enchantment room. Then I went back down to my storage room and started organizing, and I made me a sign that said Shawnee's secret stuff. Day 82, it was wood day, and I wanted to build some stairs that went down from the 3rd floor into the 2nd floor. Now, I hadn't even had my secret storage room to myself for one day. Shay already pretty much just took what she wanted. Day 83, I put in some glass along the stairs, and I got to finish working on the deck on the 3rd floor. Now this one I wanted to do a little different. I was still going to do like the glass windows around the door, but instead of using the logs, I just used a regular fence. And then I seen what Shay was up to. I don't know what that was over there, but she was very busy. I have to give her that. Then when I was done, I headed up to the top of the roof and I put up some pillars. Then I told Shay to get me 2 water buckets, because remember, I had found that lava pool, so I was able to make some obsidian. I also had to use her diamond pickaxe because I didn't have one yet. Day 84, I grabbed up Abraham, and then we headed out back to that tunnel. And then I found a cave I was tempted to mine. But nope, I had to stay focused. I had to get this obsidian, which was going to take a long time. Now, I've mined obsidian so many times and ran into lava and fell in actually. So in hardcore, I took my time. Day 85, I finished working my way through the obsidian. I made sure I got all of it. Then I headed back home. Then I gave Abraham a few steaks, and then I met up with Shay. I gave her the obsidian, and she was really excited because now she was able to build her enchantment table. And now we can finally enchant our armor. Day 86, yup, I went back down to that big old water cave. But there was plenty of iron down there. I wanted some fresh armor so I can enchant it, because Shay claimed that she found a strange cave, and she wanted me to go down there with her. So I wanted to make sure that I was over prepared. I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed. Day 87. First thing in the morning, I headed over to get some wood so I could make some tools. I didn't know how long we were going to be in this cave, so I grabbed whatever I could, and then I headed back. Today was the big day. Whenever we found a cave that was interesting, I wanted my dogs to be prepared. They had finally earned Shay's trust again. So we headed down this cave. It was kind of strange. I was hearing strange noises, and then I seen this weird brick that I had never seen before. Well, I take that back. This brick looked like the brick that be on the beginning of the screen in Bedrock. And I seen all kind of mobs. Now, I apologize. I didn't know nothing about the trial chambers. I was just fighting whatever I could. I don't know what this was. I guess he's some kind of wind mob. And then there was a lot of spiders and spawners. And I had never seen these skeletons before. This was my absolute first experience in here. But we fought and fought. As you can see, I was placing torches on top of the spawners. But I'm not necessarily sure if that's what you were supposed to do. These skeletons was pretty tough. But there was a lot of goodies in here. It was a whole lot of stuff. It's pretty cool though. Actually a lot of fun to raid. And here's the problem with the dogs. Why are you on a lava block? Why? I don't get it. So anyway, I had to mine all that up so they just don't step on them. It was like they were doing it on purpose. But I was finding a lot in here that I didn't understand. It was really something we weren't prepared for. See what I mean? Now don't get me wrong, they can be very helpful, but they can get in the way. Now as you can see, I had this key. I wasn't sure what to do, so I let Shay handle it while I continued to explore. But for this night, we tried to get some sleep. Day 88, I experienced one of the toughest spider battles I ever had. This was worse than the mines. You had the poisonous spiders, but you had the regular spiders as well, and they were huge. I found a chest with my first music CD, and actually, it was a lot of interesting chests, but these spiders, they wouldn't stop. At this point, I was out of it. I thought it was pretty much over. I was doing anything to survive. This moment, I still don't know how I survived it. I had a half a heart left. But however, my dogs came through. They should have came through sooner. But anyway, I got my energy back and followed Shay. I found these vases that had diamond blocks. I turned them into diamonds and gave them to Shay. She was really happy about that. And we found this room that had beds, so we camped here for the night. Day 89, we found a room similar to the one we had found earlier. It was pretty much the same strategy. These wind mobs we had to take out with the dogs, and then you had to jump up here and get the skeletons. Like I said, I'm a complete noob with the trial chambers. I don't know what I was supposed to do or what to do with the keys or with this thing. I had no clue. And with only 11 days left, I wasn't trying to figure it out right now either. Day 90 was a good day. I grabbed up some of these blocks that I had never seen before, and I was going to make my own trial chamber at home. And me and Shay was finding a lot of chests. I found another key, plenty of arrows, and I found another diamond block. I think we had enough to make diamond armor now, but we only had 10 days left. Was it possible that we can actually beat the game? I left our mark here and let everybody know that DJ Shawnee and Shay the Raider found a trial chamber. I gave Shay the diamonds and we started to head back. But unfortunately, the way back wasn't that easy. So we had placed torches, but they didn't work. I didn't really know what I was doing. So we snuck back into the cave and worked our way up. But I was hearing something behind me. Came back up and called it a night. Day 91, me and Shay woke up to a zombie right by the front door. Then we was able to craft 2 diamond chest plates. Well, I guess copper had a use after all. I had grabbed a lot of these blocks and I wanted to make my own trial chamber. I was really proud of myself. The fact that we found this trial chamber right under where we picked to move is kinda wild. Day 92, I enchanted a few items and then I pretty much hung out with Shay for the day. I finally took out some time to see what she was working on, and she was working on another portal. This was really cool what she did. Day 93. So me and Shay kept hearing this noise and we just knew it was coming from the cave. I turned the corner and there was the wind mob, or whatever he was. So me and my dogs went and took him down. Since I was already down there, I figured I'd take another look. I found some wind charges, and then I found a chest with a cake, another diamond, and an iron block. Since I missed this chest, I figure I might stay down here another night. Day 94. Now what was really cool is that I had found a cave, and there was a lot of stuff in it. I found some more gold, and guess what? I found another set of diamonds. Then, me and my dogs took down a few endermen, got a few ender pearls, found a safe area, and then pretty much called it a night. Day 95, me and the dogs found another area that me and Shay did not explore, and there was more of those wind mobs. Now this area, like I said, I just didn't understand what was going on. Would you believe I lost a whole diamond trying to put it in this item hopper? Then I found another key. I was just trying anything at this point, and then I did see that you put the key in here, and I guess you just had to take a chance on what you picked or whatever. I was going for the diamonds, but then I end up getting some arrows. I'll take it though. On the way back up, I seen Shay, and she had found more diamonds. Nice. We'll give a round of applause for the dogs. That was the end of their journey for this 100 days. Day 96, I repaired a few items. I'm so mad I wasn't using this tool. And then, Shay had a picture of a cake. So I surprised her, and the cake I had found in the trial chambers, I put right there. It actually worked out. We were gonna try going into the nether portal, so I went back down into that cave and got all the gold I could find and smelted it up. We were getting close, so I gave Shay my last diamond, and then I made us some enchanted gold boots, so we can avoid the piglins. Then she had enough diamonds to make us both a pair of leggings, which was pretty cool, so I enchanted those, and we was just pretty much preparing for the next day. Another thing I did was try one of these wind charges, and Mr. Piggy wasn't too happy. Day 98 was another witch in our area. I had to take her down. One more day before we went inside the nether portal. We was gonna go in at day 99, and Shay said that this was called Shawnee Steakhouse. This whole time, she was making this place for me. Nice. And she had a jukebox. Then it dawned on me. I remember when I was in the trial chamber, I had found that disc. So, we decided to give it a listen. Day 99. Talk about being nervous. Shay had went back to get some cobblestone because I know in another portal there's always a lot of lava. So we headed in, and you never know what to expect inside the nether portal. Now what if I told you we spawned right by a fortress? You probably wouldn't believe me. So not only did we find a trial chamber on our island, but our nether portal spawned us right by a fortress. We just had to find out how to get there. So we dug down, and Shay is really good about building a bridge to the fortress. The only thing is the ghast. So I tried to take my time. I was gonna go ahead of her. As you can see, that fire is very dangerous. I fell, and I thought it was over with, but I had just made it. So the first thing I did was cover myself, and I told Shay just to keep going forward, and I would work myself down at the bottom. So I was trying to just be very careful. As long as she was okay, I was good. And she was working her way very slowly, but very surely. Now, I used a wind charge against the ghast, and it made the most terrifying sound I had ever heard it made before. I mean, I've never heard it make that sound. It was very upset. So I locked myself in. I didn't want to mess up this video. We just had one more day to go. But anyway, when I say Shay is the best team player ever, she made it all the way across. I didn't even have to worry. Now things like this you gotta be careful of. Like this lava almost caught me. I wanted to try to make a way up to her though, because maybe when we came back from the fortress, we can go back her way instead of going back my way, because I was kind of buried in. So the plan was for me to collect blocks so she can build across, and then an Enderman came and I had to take him down. It had turned to day 100 and all we had to do was survive. I wanted to see if I can try to trade some gold with some piglins so we can take care of that stuff now in case we did a 200-day video. She was doing so well, I pretty much just had to watch her back. But then I had to protect her because it was a lot of piglins coming after us. Now we had on gold boots and I didn't understand why they were attacking us. I'm not that familiar with the nether, but I'm sure one of you know. See, like this piglin, he was cool. He wasn't trying to fight us at all. But anyway, I did find a piglin who took gold, but he didn't really give me anything. I must have gave him about 12 pieces of gold. Well, we had made it to day 101, and it was time to head back. The only problem was, it was a bit rough. I would have hated to lose my hardcore world just trying to get back home. And then a ghast almost got me. I mean, I couldn't believe this. I took a chance to turn around and just look over this hill, and I've never been happier to see another portal in my life. So I headed down, and Shay, I heard her footsteps, and she was right behind me. Well, there it was, 100 days of Minecraft hardcore. I really appreciate you if you watched the whole video. Me and the wife love playing Minecraft together, and it was just something we wanted to try. And I would have to say, it was very fun, but very challenging. Make sure you check out Shay's video. It'll be out very soon. She's going to tell the same 100 days, but from her perspective. I think that should be pretty cool. But anyway, like always, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.